Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Rich from Operation Vets with Nets, and my partner in crime over there. I'm trying to get this screen stuff right. That's Charlie. He's the founder of River Chronicles, and we're going to share with you really the only purpose of this YouTube. Let me see. Let me change my chat. I'm still getting used to all this.
It's okay, brother. Take your time. Take your time.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
the first show, so it's gonna be good. We're just
Yep.
working some
Don and
kinks out.
Derek's here. That's right. Yep. So, we are broadcasting in on Facebook as well as a couple of YouTube channels. Please let us know that you're here. But this whole channel, the whole purpose of America's Finest Heroes and to their journey to real therapy is just that. Their journey. Your guests on every one of this is a boat captain, a volunteer with Operation Vets with Nets, or the vet that they took out. So it's all about their journey and nothing else. So, and you'll find out. And what I want you guys to do is, first of all, I want you to go ahead and click and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
Operation Vets with Nets. Do it, guys. Do it, guys.
Also, click and subscribe to River Chronicles because Charlie, one of his key things is, and from what I've learned, is Charlie's whole mission and everything that he does when he's going out fishing. He is representing and painting that big picture, that story. He's recording that story. If he's out and it's not a vet, he's still capturing a whole bunch of video.
Mm-hmm.
He's just capturing that journey and sharing that with folks. And that's how really Charlie and I got together. He went on Operation Vets with Nets trip, but him and I began talking and coming to find out we had so much in common.
A lot.
And really all we cared about were our vets and then sharing their stories, sharing their journey. So I'm going to bring on our guests. Okay. I'm going to bring on our first guest of our episode number 1. And hey, so hold on a minute. I'm going to bring on Anthony Brown. So this is Anthony Brown.
What's up, y'all?
And Jerry.
Yeah.
Good evening.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, man. Before we get into their stories and stuff, I just want to give I'm seeing, unfortunately, I can't see who the Facebook users are, but there are a bunch out there. Everyone's saying hello. Hey guys, appreciate you for showing up. We've got Donna and Derek. Those guys are my leads and our first chapter in Northeast North Carolina. We got Becca Mudtramp. Becca, she's been a big support effort person on behalf. She designed the background. She does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff for us. And I'm seeing Juan come in, Eagle Eyes. We've got a lot of our folks coming in, our team and followers, and we appreciate that. So, where does all of this stuff start? It starts with either, and with Anthony's case, and he'll share how he does things. But mainly it starts with when people go over to, our website, operationvetswithnets.org. They hear about us and they'll go in, they'll fill out a mission trip. And then I usually reach out to them, find out where a captain is in their area. And what I do is then I put them two together and we get a mission going. And that's really, that's how we get this going. But Anthony is a unique person. Anthony, I met over a year ago, just when I was starting Operation Vets with Nets Out. He's a fellow shipmate. He's in the Navy, or retired Navy, as I am. Like Charlie, I never met in person, but we will. A lot of my other teammates, I haven't, that's part of Operation Vets with Nets, I haven't met in person, but I will. But Anthony and I, we've met in person. He's broke bread in my house. He's stayed at my house on Lake Gaston a couple times. We've gone out to fishing. My first catfish tournament I've ever fished was with Anthony. We didn't do great because I didn't think he knew what he was doing at the time. No. we had a great time. And so I'm gonna shut my mouth and I'm going, damn squids. See, now this is
damn
these
squids.
are people we need to kick out of the channel. No, I'm only kidding. That's right. Damn squids, you're damn straight. So I'm only kidding. So I'm gonna turn this over to Anthony so he can tell you a little bit about himself, what he does, and then how he met Jerry. And then we're going to let those two share the journey of that day they went out on that Operation Vets with mission. And I'm also going to, when we get a break, I will show you a video that I put together from stuff that Anthony provided to me. And so without further ado, I'm going to mute myself because my mouth will keep running. Anthony, it's your show, brother.
Well, thank you, Rich. It's truly is an honor to be here, Charlie. Appreciate you having us on. Especially this is the first one of many to come. So,
yes, sir.
It truly is all about the vets. Me and this guy over here. Well, this guy over here. I got to figure out the finger point. Mr. Ellis. We met by chance, honestly. So we were fishing. Me and my partner Jason was fishing the King Cat tournament trail, and I think we were on the second tournament of the season. We were in the Lake Chickamauga area on the Tennessee River chain, and I couldn't remember the name of the marina, and I went to the marina looking for some boat oil, and I asked the guy, I said, "You know any veterans?" He said, "Well, I do." So he said, "My brother's a veteran." I said, "Well, let's talk to him. Let's see if he wants to go fishing, He said, "Well, hold on, I'll go get him." So he walked across the parking lot, and here comes Mr. Jerry into the scene. I said, I don't remember how the conversation went. It's been a while, but it was basically, "Hey, man, this is what I do, and you're a veteran. We're going to fish a tournament, and you want to go? It's not going to cost you anything." So, and he rodded up, and so we went from there. So I'll introduce myself. Prior Navy, as we know, 21 years. Was retired from the Navy for mental health issues, along with some other injuries, back surgeries, and some other things. But that was my main push out the door, per se. So kind of took it to heart to getting veterans on the water, and it's a big deal to me. So not only has it saved my life, but it saved several guys that I've taken out. So that when you realize that, it hits home. So
yes, sir.
Introduced. Here comes Jerry. I've done several trips, several different organizations. So Jerry, he says, "Yeah, I'll go fishing with you crazy looking fools, I guess." So he took a chance and he got on the boat. So Jerry, if you would introduce yourself and talk about your time in service and maybe a little bit about what you did, sir.
Okay. Well, I'll round out the military services with the Air Force. I spent 21 years. Don't shake your head. I spent 21 years in the Air Force, and one thing that Anthony and I learned is we had similar backgrounds, different services, but we both had enlisted time. I don't remember Anthony's. I was 7.5 years enlisted, and then was commissioned in 1979 and retired as an 04 after 21 years, mostly in communications and intelligence. That's kind of an oxymoron, I think, but I managed to
is.
sort that
It
out.
is.
It is for at least the Navy.
But Anthony had stopped, as he said, with my brother and looking for some oil. And my brother came and said, would you like to go fishing? And of course, that was not a question I needed to be asked. And I said, sign me up. So he drug me across the parking lot and introduced me to Anthony and to Mr. Carpenter. And I had second thoughts about it, but I said, when and where. It was March, so it was cold. And we got bundled up and met. I think it was still dark when we launched the boat that morning, and probably about 30 degrees. And as soon as daylight hit, we had lines in the water and started fishing. And we did actually fairly well.
Yeah,
Hey Jerry. Hey,
Yes.
if you guys give me a quick second, let's see how well you actually did. Hold on a minute.
yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Throw it up there.
I'm gonna try to figure it out. Let me see here. All right. Can you guys see that?
I can.
Okay. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it too. So hold on. Can you hear? Oh, wrong one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And what
that's
happened
definitely
there?
not my boat. Goober.
That was a shameless
Okay,
plug.
no kidding. That's when we were building out the wheelchair.
That's
See?
awesome. That was
Technical
awesome.
issues beyond my control. That's when we were building the wheelchair boat. All right,
Yep.
hold on a minute. I think it's this one. I just had it up. Yep. So okay, I'm gonna try it again. Yeah, exactly. Bloopers.
Bloop.
I told you, man. I'm challenged with this stuff. Hold on a minute.
Derek said it's gonna take
Let
a
me
while.
share it again.
It happens, man.
All right. Entire screen. We're gonna go here. All right, you see that, right? All right.
Pink cat
So
tournament.
let me know if you guys hear the music there too.
There you go. It's showing on YouTube now.
I don't hear the music.
You don't? Okay. There we go. Do you hear the sound?
I don't hear anything.
Make sure I share audio.
I heard
Okay.
hollering.
All right. Well, I'll figure that out, but I'll let you hear it through that way.
That was the perfect under.
That was right at the maximum to be the
Yeah.
under.
Yeah. Then we caught a nice blue and a nice flathead on top of that.
This was after Anthony caught the bait.
Yeah. So this was the second tournament in the series, and we knew we had a good shot at placing. So after we got that one on the board,
Nice.
There's that flatty. Yep.
So I think we ended with about 93 pounds, Anthony.
90, 91 something, I think.
Yeah, I think I have it in the video.
Okay.
That was one of the biggest weigh-ins I had done yet by far. Sure. So there went his hat.
Yeah.
Oh. Christopher Davis said, "Who was your first mate pup?" That would be Caden on that trip.
That's Anthony. Tell me I should have caught a bigger one.
I said, "You got to do better, man."
That was a personal best for me, though, for sure.
Yeah.
I think before that, mine was probably about a 4-pounder
Right.
that I caught by mistake.
Man, that was the perfect under for a tournament fish, man. And the excitement was like totally that you actually got it up out of what you were fishing in. If you remember that, off of that end of that dock there, it was just piled with freaking timber and stuff in there.
Yeah,
so
and I mean,
he was just down in the mess.
I'm not sure we were 400 yards from the launch ramp.
Yeah, we was right close too, so it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. So Jerry got to experience just in that tournament alone, like an emotional roller coaster, because like I don't think we had any kind of mechanical issues or anything like that trip, but it was just like when you get that first fish in the boat, and it was still, I don't think it was even daylight hardly yet. So
Hardly. The sun was coming up.
Yeah, the sun was definitely getting ready to come up, or was in progress of it. So for that to be like the perfect size, when I say under, it had to be 34 inches or less. It was perfect for the tournament for our undersized fish. So then what I had to do was, find some big ones. And then, boy, when we set up on that bridge, it was another roller coaster of emotions because of, that pretty good flathead. And then wasn't long after that, we caught that nice blue. So that's kind of where you've seen the hugs and the there was some tears shed there because it was exciting, man. This was a king cat. It was a national trail that we were following. We were never fished there before. We had a veteran that was enjoying himself. I know he did. And it just made the trip all that much better to actually come to the scales. I think we were like 7th place on that tournament because there was a lot of big fish weight in that tournament. But regardless, the overall experience was, I know I got pictures that Jason took. I didn't even know he had took them. Me and you were in some kind of deep conversation there on the boat. I know we talked about a lot of things on that trip. And you shared some things you've been going through. So, not only due to how we did in the tournament, but just meeting you and your stories and being able to compare. Like, you retired as an 04, I retired as a lieutenant in 03 in the Navy. So we both know the enlisted side of the house. We both know what we had to go through. We had to clean toilets and all that junk. We're lower nobodies up to the higher rankings, and it again signified to me what we were doing is important. So
Anthony, let me ask you real quick, brother.
Yeah.
What's so important about it? What are you seeing today, and what are you experiencing today that makes the mission of Operation Vets with Nets and what all our captains are doing for our vets? What makes that so important? Why is that important?
Because you even if it's one fishing trip for 2 hours sitting on the bank on a bucket, as a veteran, as a fellow veteran, I can sit and connect with you and talk just like I've known you all my life. This is the way me and Jerry's day went. From what I remember, we just started like, okay, well, we have that automatic bond. You know what I mean? So there's a give and trust that he knew whatever we talked about was going to stay with me and him. But he also knew that he could talk to me because I had that experience in the military, and and I told him some things I've been going through and a lot of stuff. So that connection is there automatically. And I think that's what makes it even better. Just because we can relate. We know, even if it's not the same service, we went through a lot of the same crap,
Yep.
And he's obviously way older than I am, as you can tell.
Wait a minute.
So
Jerry.
Listen, when I think about, I would say we're all, so Jerry's probably the oldest. I'm the youngest, obviously, here. But look at the generational gap and how we were still able to connect. I can only imagine, when Rich was back on freaking USS freaking Chief and wood decks and stuff, the different experiences that occurred,
Yeah, I've always said that
it's funny
that the military is a family of a different kind, but it's still a family, and people help each other. You're asked to go places and do things that most people aren't asked to do. You leave at least your larger family behind, if not your immediate family, and so you reach out and you do things for each other that I don't think you see outside of that environment. And so I think that's where the connection is, because when you do meet a fellow veteran, it's almost as if you're looking for the opportunity to reach out for each other and to support each other. And this organization kind of formalizes that in an informal way and gives you that opportunity to share a day and do something maybe that you haven't been able to do, either because of a disability or financially you're not able to do that, or maybe you don't live close to the water. And so to have that kind of opportunity, I mean, in my case, I do live close to the water, and I do have an opportunity to fish from time to time, not as much as I'd like to, but I've never had an opportunity, I should say, to fish a tournament before. So even for me, it gave me an opportunity to do something I'd never done before with someone I'd never met before, that now I've got lifelong brothers, as we said, with Jason and with Anthony, and Rich and Charlie, we've never met before, but just today, the first thing we do is start sharing stories.
Yep.
And if we were to sit down together at a table or sit together on the boat with a rod between our knees, we could talk all day and never run out of things to say.
We'd run out of bait before we ran out of stories.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yep. You're right there, Charlie.
Yep.
Now, let me ask you, I don't mean to interrupt, but we have a lot of our captains who have not had the privilege, because I say it is a privilege, to serve this great nation in the military, but have such a heart for service and to give back to our veterans. Do you feel that can be just as exciting? I know in the military, no matter what branch you are, when you get military guys together, you're going to have that bond, because we might have drove through the same sand. We might have cut through the same waves, or whatever it might be. But knowing that you're riding with somebody, or you're meeting somebody that has not served in the military, but wants to give as much back to our military as possible. How do you feel that is beneficial? Because I don't want to forget those guys because they do some great things.
It's huge because, you know, we've got Memorial Day. Obviously, it's not for us that are still living, but we got Veterans Day, and that's when 90% of the public comes out and shows their support for veterans. Thank
Exactly.
you. Okay. We need civilians. We're 1% of the population. So remove that percentage, and whatever percentage of that percentage is actually who is active duty or retired military or have been as a veteran that actually participates in these programs like this, and your numbers are like minimal. So I'm gonna call out my boy Ray Richard. Me and you did a live on Ray, bringing him into the flock. I said, Rich,
Yeah, I remember that.
This kid he's got what it takes. He's got a passion to help others. He's not well off, but every time he gets a chance, he's on the water. And his mission was, and I don't know, for him, fishing with me for a year or so ago or whatever it was, got him to the veteran side. I'm sure it impacted it a little bit. But he has a passion of getting kids and veterans on the water. And I will tell you, receiving messages from him, receiving messages from trips that he did, I remember one was an active duty guy. He sent him a picture of his rod and reel that I don't know if Ray had given it to him or for whatever, but the active duty guy that he took out was, fishing on his own now from the bank, and he was catching fish. And so, yes, it's very much important. And to see the excitement that Ray had after his first trip that I can remember, just made it made me realize that we still need civilian help, because there's a lot of veterans don't even know about us, and that's the big thing about things like this and your YouTube channel. That's going to help the word spread. They don't know that option's there. Did it change Jerry's life? I don't know. I don't think it did. I mean, look at me. He had to hang out with me, So, but if you would, Jerry, expound on, if you don't mind, just a little bit, what was your biggest takeaway, or what did you get out of the trip other than just being on a boat with a fellow veteran and sharing stories and spending time on the water? Was there something that grabbed you, or I don't know? Was there?
Yeah. And I remember Jerry telling me this, and I'll let you get back to this. But after 5 minutes on the boat with you, he's like, what the hell did I do? This crazy dude, I got to get off this boat. But the water was too cold. Now go ahead, Jerry. Share your story, buddy.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me address your question, Rich. And that is that I have a lot of respect for the people that you're talking about, which are the people that do it. Not that Anthony or another vet doesn't do what they do from the heart, but somebody who steps in from outside that veteran community and offers their time and their boat to do a trip for a vet. I think they're really doing that from the heart, and so that means a lot. Someone pointed out that I'm kind of the oldest guy in the room. I don't remember who said that. And I started I started my time when being in the military wasn't a terribly popular thing, and so to have someone nowadays want to give something like this to a vet, that means a lot to me. That somebody who's not a veteran that wants to do that. Because that's a whole lot different than the way people who weren't veterans treated us back in the day. and then Anthony, to answer your question, I took a lot of things away. A personal best, that was one thing. That was very exciting. The emotion of that trip, your willingness to share with me and the ability that we had to talk to each other and share those stories and do that in what we say earlier, this was a safe environment.
Yeah.
And so we had that in a safe environment, and it made a lasting impression on me. I've talked about it since the moment we got back. Rich, I don't know if you know, but Anthony presented me with the rod that I caught that fish with. I went and bought a reel for it, rigged it up, and I've used that to allow people to do some catfishing, and got some other people interested in it. So that's been a lot of fun. And
So
I
you're
actually
passing
asked
on
my
some of that.
wife just a
You're-
couple of weeks ago
You're passing
if
on
I,
some of that real therapy, huh?
what's that?
You're passing on some of that real therapy
Yeah,
as you're
exactly.
getting
I
other.
mean, it
Yeah.
made an impression on me, and it was a pay it forward kind of impression.
Yeah, and
And
you paid it forward too, sir. I'm not going to let you off the hook. The tournament entry fee was $300 for that tournament, and he just kept on and kept on. And I'm like, no, you're not paying for this trip. He said, okay, well, I'm paying for the next one then. So that was an impression that you made on me, sir, because you're talking about paying it forward, and that's exactly what you did. It went right to the next one. So, not to cut you off, but thank you.
well,
That's awesome.
Well, good. I'm glad. You actually made the Salisbury Post as well. I don't know if you know that or not. I'm sure I sent you the article. Several suicides happened after that trip that I knew, and even since then. One of the pilots that I was actually a division officer for committed suicide recently. Just finished his CO tour, and that's one of the things I've said since I've got out is rank doesn't understand where mental health issues isn't recognized by rank or title or anything or active duty or reservist or anything like that, because it can grab anybody. And again, when I say this is why I continue to try to do these trips is because I have had messages sent to me and saying, "Man, you changed my life," and I'm like, I didn't do anything but take you fishing, but I can sit back and relate and think, man, I remember one trip. It was I didn't know I had a problem, and it's not like we're gonna go out there and be Dr. Phil and Dr. Phil or Oprah Winfrey or anything like that. We just talk. We get into the groove of relaxed. It was cold on our trip, man. I remember because I had my heavy duty wind riders on, but there was a point where it was just relaxed.
Yep. Chris Davis, I see you in there. Real therapy is real. Just remember what Anthony just said. It's cold, and see, you're going to experience that in a week and a half during the Ice Bowl.
Oh yeah, it's going to be cold up there. It's going to.
but it's the best time of the year for fishing, right?
It is.
It is. There's nice fish being caught up here right now. So
now, like what Anthony was talking about about the suicides and stuff like that. I've had a personal friend just a couple months ago reach out. I've known him for over 20 years, and life was just falling apart, and tried to kill himself twice and twice in the same day. Mm-hmm. He went to the beach. He put a gun in his mouth. To thank God, nothing happened. and then he jumped in the water and tried to let himself drown. God still had work for him to do. And so that event changed his life. I know for me, and this is how Operation Vets with Nets started. I'll share this quick story, and I want to get back to Jerry. Is I was doing the fishing for my own. I found out how therapeutic it was. I took a friend of mine out, did not know he had severe PTSD. And after we were done and we got into some deeper conversations, and I've known him for close to 20 years. And his wife called me like 2 days later, 3 days later in tears. And I thought something happened. My gut sank. I was shaking. And she said, "Thank you." And I'm like, what do you mean, thank you? And she goes, "Thank you for giving me my husband back." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "He came home and all he did for days was talk about the trip, and I know her personally because I've known her for years as well. But she goes, his demeanor shifted. He seemed a lot less stressed. He seemed happier go lucky. Oh, what's up, my brother Mike? Mike Harris just joined us. She told me he just seems very relaxed, less stressed out, less drawn in. For folks that don't know that people can, with PTSD, be very drawn into themselves. And they're battling those inner demons that only them and other veterans going through the exact same thing could understand. And so I talked to my VA therapist and shared that story with her, and so that's really how Operation Vets with Nets came to be. And it's that time on the water, that journey that you guys experience during that day could change the life of that veteran or even the life of that captain.
Absolutely. So, don't forget that part, Rich, because that's one of the big things for me, especially because it's definitely therapy for me. It's therapeutic. I mean, just being on the water, but being able to have that camaraderie and rebuild that. To build on a relationship we didn't even know we had. But just because we were brothers, we automatically bonded, So that's what made it really cool for me. And it's not just when we talk about PTSD, we talk about mental health issues. I want to stress very, very, very much so that it's not just because we were in the military. I mean, we've got firemen and police and first responders and different. I mean, anybody can have PTSD and mental health issues. So obviously our focus is getting veterans on the water. So I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not just for the member or whoever's going, because I've posted several times about that trip on different occasions on different social medias, and it was a good one. It was definitely one of the best trips, not just weigh-in wise and how we placed in the tournament, but just how chill that day was. It was just, it was emotional. It was huge. Yes, Michael Harris, absolutely, we have.
So Jerry, you just said it was emotional.
Mm-hmm.
What was emotional about it? If you don't mind sharing that with everybody.
Well,
I don't mind.
There were several times during the day. I think there were there was emotion tied into the stories that we shared. There was emotion in the excitement that we had in how well first of all, how well we thought we did, and then and then how well we actually ended up doing, even though it wasn't maybe as well as we thought we might.
Yeah.
but still placed. And I was excited because I know in talking with Anthony that day how much it meant to him to pursue that tournament trail.
Mhm.
And I felt I was excited because I felt like I had an opportunity to contribute to that.
You did.
And so it was just a lot of highs, a whole lot more highs than lows involved in that day. And so I walked away really, really excited about the day, about the new friends that I had. I've followed Anthony ever since on Facebook just to see how he was doing, and he and I have exchanged uh, messages from time to time. And so I think here in what was, I don't know, 12, 14 hours that we spent together, and we'll probably communicate with each other now for the rest of our lives.
Yep.
So Anthony,
But
like so I just so what you were doing is extremely, extremely important, right? We were talking about the suicides. I have a little tattoo on my arm there. It's a semicolon. Some of y'all might know what it means. Some of y'all might not. If you don't, just look it up. I won't waste time talking about it. But it's about creating a pause in your life when you reach some sort of obstacle, some sort of problem, some sort of family issue, something like that. And I'll give you a quick example. I was in the Army from 1994 to 2003. I went to the Kosovo War, yada, 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 yada. But not too long ago, I was talking to my older sister, Claudia. Shout out, she's watching. Um, she had no idea of the stuff that I was going through. But in my mind, because of the way I was acting and reacting and shying away from people or whatever, is that I thought everyone knew, right? This is before the military, during the military, and after the military. And, I talked to her a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago, and she goes, "Oh my God, I had no idea." And she's in tears and, um, just not comprehending because we do have a bond that's different. And that bond's also created with civilians as well, right? Not just military members. But Anthony, I don't know, like God's touching me right now. It's like what you're doing is great. We need that, brother. We need that. Jerry needs that. I need it. Rich needs it. Right. And when we go out and do it genuinely from the bottom of our heart, because it's helping, it's like a telephone. It rings both ways.
exactly.
Right. We don't know how we're impacted. Jerry just said it. You guys are connected. Hopefully God gives us all many, many, many more years to come. We're connected. It's hard to explain sometimes, but what Operation Vets, what Nets is doing, it's more than. Yeah, we talked about it. Jerry caught his personal best, but hearing y'all tell y'all story is just, that's why I kind of been quiet, because I'm just like, wow, people have no idea what this time means together. I mean, I'm sure we all have family members. Oh, no, I'm not going fishing with you because they don't like fishing. All right. But it's just the value of your time, the honor of you guys being on this show today. I thank y'all so much, because that is the biggest honor and gift you could give to us is your time. And everyone watching as well. When we go out there, we spend a lot of time. How many days and hours and years you think you spent looking at a rod tip? All right. Same thing. There's some veterans out there that are looking at a clock, looking at a handgun that's sitting to the side because their wife left them or something, or they can't see their children as much. So,
And that was a big thing for me. I want to touch on that, was sharing what I've been through. So, the more times it gets easier, but the better I feel. You know what I mean? Like, that I know that it's not just me that has those feelings, or it's not
there
just
you go.
this problem right here, but there are. And I personally went through a lot of junk especially since I've been out. Like, it's been a tough road. So Rich knows a lot about that. I think Jerry knows quite a bit about it as well. But this avenue of catfishing or just fishing or even just getting on the water, or our main focus obviously at Operation Festival Nets is real therapy. But just knowing and being able to spread the word, like, hey man, it's not like you're alone. So we are trying to take care of each other. Guy, gal, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter color, race. It doesn't matter. Just like it didn't matter when we all served in the freaking, we all wore the cloth of the nation. It doesn't matter where you come from, who you know. If Rich hits me up and says, listen, I got a trip, I need you to take this one, I'm on it. So thank you for allowing us to be here, man. Like, it's another avenue of getting the word out that we're actually out here. I mean, if I could relive that trip once a month, I think my level of, I don't know, would just be just through the roof. You know what I mean? Like,
It's your therapy.
it was huge for me as well. I know Jason got a lot out of that trip as well. He's not a veteran, but he got to go on a lot of trips with me and experience a lot of those emotional rides and just enjoy that camaraderie and build a new brotherhood. Just like Jerry said, he didn't say because Jason wasn't a veteran, we weren't friends. He said, he made two new brothers. So
Absolutely. So Rich, I get to ask a question now.
Okay.
This this opportunity kind of fell in my lap, but for someone who is or someone who knows someone and would like to try to open that opportunity to them, how do they do that?
You know what? And that's a great question, and I appreciate that. So if you guys look at the bottom of your screen, you see our website, www.operationvetswithnets.org. It's going going the other way.
Yep.
Yeah, man, everything's backwards here. I need to flip my screen or something. I'm getting confused. They can go to our website and they can go request a trip, and they'll fill out a form, and I'll get that form, and then I'll reach out to one of my state captains or somebody I know who's available, and I'll put them two together so they can coordinate a date. Matter of fact, I worked some long hours today, well, all week, but when I got done, I jumped on because I had 2 mission requests come in yesterday, one yesterday and one today, and is coordinate and I start coordinating that. And so that's how they do it. And a lot of it, like sometimes stuff's with Anthony, he's on the fly, he meets somebody there, and I know other people have done it. They meet somebody at the boat ramp. So what are you doing? Oh, nothing. You want to go fishing? And they throw them in the, and they find out they're a vet. They're talking. And then I get on Anthony because he's real bad about this. Real bad about this. And so are some other guys. I'm going to have to get everybody squared away. But then get up on the site, fill in the information, and then let me know, hey, I filled out this information. And this is a trip I did yesterday, or I did this morning. Because as a nonprofit, we like to track all our missions, because a lot of times, if you're going in for grants and stuff like that, they want to know how many vets, did you service? Mm-hmm. And to me personally, if we serviced 10 vets in that 1 year, or we served 1,000, and during that 1,000 vets, one life was saved because the experience that they experienced on either going fishing with, saying Charlie meets a vet and he takes him out, or Anthony, or any one of my teammates, my captains, and that life is saved. Because I did have a guy that I had a trip scheduled with, And somebody placed an order. All right, cool. When he met me the next day, as soon as we got on the boat and we started leaving the dock, he busted out in tears. I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And I said, "Everything all right?" He said, "It is now." And I'm like, okay. He goes, "I sat up for 4 hours last night with a gun in my mouth." He said, "And I pulled the trigger and it was a misfire. I put it down there. I broke down. I got on my hands and knees and I prayed. And on my phone popped up my reminder for this trip." He says, "This is, I guess, truly where I need to be today."
Mm-hmm.
And I blubbered like a big baby. And we had a great day. Didn't get on anything huge. We got a lot of eaters. So I filleted them up right there and sent them home with some eaters. But it was a phenomenal trip. And it meant the world to me. And that's truly what it's all about. So if one life is saved by anything that any of us do, it might even not even taking somebody fishing, but you're standing by the boat launch and he can't go fishing, but you take the time. If he starts really talking and you just take your time, put your fishing off for a little while and listen to him. That's all that person might have needed, is somebody to listen.
Yep.
And the blessing is I've got a phenomenal team at Operation Vets with Nets. I don't think there's one person in our organization that would not do that.
Mm.
And it's a blessing. So did that kind of answer your question, Jerry?
It did. And I want to thank you for what you're doing.
Thank the Lord, not me. I'm just his messenger, man. I'm just the man following his plan.
Yeah.
But thank you.
I got the chance to thank Anthony several times that day, but not you. So I will, I'll definitely say that now. And then a bigger thank you for what you're doing for everybody that's affected and impacted.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Now we've got about 7 minutes left, and 7 minutes could be a long time because I know people's time is valuable. I don't want this going over, like some podcasts we're on or videos, they'll end up going over an hour, and that's great because some of the stuff that, especially when they're talking about how to target fish or their bodies of water and different things, that's great to listen to. But I'm also I'm mindful of people's time.
You don't want to drop any secrets, though, do you?
I could drop some secrets from time to time. All right. Here's one secret. Don't play the ponies.
Okay.
No. And and the great thing, and Charlie, I think Charlie can attest to this as well. And I think Anthony too. As fishermen, we get on the water, and I don't think there's a time. Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate the comment. There is a time, when we're out on the water. Well, it might be a new body of water. It might be the same body of water we've been fishing for years. But we always learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is important, not only in what we do as anglers. I think that we need to look at life that way as well. Is, we try to learn something new every day, try to be some kind of positive influence in any way. If it's just stopping somebody and just telling them thank you, or showing that you're appreciative. And you're walking around, you see an old guy with a veteran hat, just stop him and thank him for his service. What's funny is Charlie, from the day I met him, especially on podcasts, and he's always saying how old he is, and and I finally called him out on one of the shows, and I said, "How old are you?" And he told me 50. Oh, 51 now. Okay. Back then it was 50. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're old. I said, dude, I got you beat by 7 years. And when people find out I'm 57 years old, 57, they're like, oh, you don't look it. Oh, believe me, I feel it. But it's been great to have you guys on our first show, man. I've been so excited about this, and the partnership between Operation Vets with Nets and River Chronicles. And I will tell you, Charlie's always said it, because when we were talking about banners and talking about this, that, and the other thing, oh, you ain't got to put River Chronicle. No, it's not about. I said, no, brother, we're doing this together. So, and if you notice, Charlie did not put his name up, because Charlie's not all about trying to build himself a name.
Nope, not at all.
And to be honest with you, I don't think anybody on this show is trying to build themselves a name. We are just trying to live the best life we can and give back to those that give so much, and that's our military. And I don't want to, and Anthony, I think it was Anthony mentioned this earlier. I don't want to leave out the name of our show, America's Finest Heroes. Our first responders fall in that category as well. And a matter of fact, I said to Charlie, there's going to be times that I can't host a show. I know police, EMS, stuff like that. If you take them on one of your trips, I said, you know what? You pick that guest. If I'm not going to be on that show, dude, you pick that guest, and bring them in and let them share their stories as well. And I think it's important. I think, because there's so much that we're working on right now with Operation Vets with Nets. Some of you some of you do not, and it's not going to be public until things fall into place. But hopefully Operation Vets with Nets will not look like it does. Well, in a year from now, will not look like what it looks like today. But we eventually may, and this is all up to my board of directors, because I answer to a board of directors, we may open it up to first responders or EMS. And a lot of those folks are also veterans, because that's where a lot of our police force comes from, veterans and stuff like that. So before we go, I'm going to do a round robin real quick. See if Charlie has any last minute words. Then we'll go over to Jerry, and then Anthony, because we know Anthony's the longest. So go ahead, Charlie.
Actually, I do. Just a little quick story. It took about a minute. But first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who watched, you guys, Anthony and Jerry, for being here, for your time. We truly appreciate it. So I'll tell you a quick story. I was about 12 years old, went hunting in San Saba, down south here in Texas, well, mid-Texas. About 12, my mom was still alive at the time, and I went with my stepdad. Now, my stepdad wasn't the nicest guy to me. I talked about this at another podcast, and he did a lot of stuff, right? But when we go hunting, fishing, he was a totally different dude. So we're going out there, and when you go hunting, you can only hunt in certain times, right? Dusk, dawn, stuff like that. So we're kind of walking along the fence line, and he's got his I think it was a 30-30 or something savage. I can't remember. It was so long ago. So we're walking, and we start hearing gunshots. Boom. Not gunshots, like rifle shots. Boom, boom, boom. We're like, what is that? So we're getting closer. The gunshots or the rifle shots start getting louder and louder, right? And we come up to this gentleman. Now, I'm going to probably age myself here, but if y'all seen the show Grizzly Adams, he looked like that gentleman with the coveralls and used to hang out with Grizzly Adams back in the day. He kind of looked like Uncle Jesse from Dukes of Hazzard, right? And he's got a pipe in his mouth, right? And he's shooting this building, a barn. So we're like, so he sees us, and we're kind of looking at him. My stepdad didn't talk that good English, so the guy's like kind of waving us over. We're like, nah, we're not crossing this barbed wire fence to go over there on his property, right? We're not that stupid. He's like, no, kind of yelling at us, come on over. We're like, oh, no, he wants to go over there. He's like, I want to go. I'm like, I don't know. And so eventually, we kind of get over our fear, I guess you could say. So we go over there. And as we're getting closer to him and his barn, this barn has like 12 freaking bullseyes that are on the side of his building. And he's got a bullet hole right through the center of each bullseye. So we're like, man, this guy's a freaking awesome shot, right? Like, how awesome is that? Like, he must have been doing this all his life. So him and my stepdad are kind of talking. I'm kind of translating a little bit. And finally we ask him, like, sir, like, how do you do that? Like, that's pretty cool. He goes, let me show you, stand back. So he kind of pushes us away, and he grabs his rifle and boom, he shoots at the barn. So we start walking towards the barn and we see the bullet hole right in the building. So we're like, there's no bullseye. So he steps around the building and grabs some paint and he paints a bullseye around his bullet hole. Right? So we're like, what the hell is going on? So here's the moral of the story is that for us veterans, not just veterans, but everyone who experiences with depression and stuff and everything that we go through, sometimes there's another way to look at things. And that's what that gentleman said. He goes, you know what? I suck at shooting. But the way I address my problem, I look at another solution for me to keep going. And I think that's important of what we do. Operation Vets is doing awesome. It just, you'd be surprised talking to someone at the boat ramp. We don't know what they just experienced the day before. And we need that. So what you guys are doing is great. We're going to keep doing this. And thank you so much for my quick story. I love you guys. Thank you for your time. And I can't wait to chat with you guys more in the future. Mr. Jerry's up.
Okay, I'll be quick. Thank the two of you. I appreciate what you do. If there's someone out there that wants an opportunity of a lifetime that's a veteran, I highly recommend that they get in contact with one of the two of you. I know you'll take great care of them. You did me. I appreciated that. Anthony, thank you very much, brother.
Yes, sir.
And with that, I'll pass it over to him.
I just appreciate the kind words, Jerry. Thank you for the time we were able to spend on the boat. And thank you for passing that on to another veteran. Thank you for joining us tonight, man. Like, just thank you, everybody. Like, Rich, I've seen Operation Vets with Nets come a long ways, dude. And I'm to the moon proud of what you were able to accomplish, what the team was able to accomplish. And I know Miss Vicky's back there too. So
she is. She's my rock.
Yeah. So let's just make this thing. Let's just keep going, man. Keep pushing on. Charlie, thank you. Thank you for your service, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Just for those watching, it's so important, man. If there's like a fundraiser, an auction, or something like that, like the money goes to the right reasons. Like it goes to a boat, it goes to a freaking trailer tire, or it goes to a whatever the case may be. So thank you for those that have donated. We were able to raise $1,100 on what was a silent auction this year. It turned into the most verbal silent auction in the history of all time, I think.
Awesome.
So that was super freaking cool, man. Like, and the fact that you got to hang out with Paige King Johnson and freaking Oliver Anthony, like, and they're supporting us. That's huge, man. And they get it. They're civilians, but they get it. So thank you all. Thank you all for your service. Thank you all for watching. Rich, I love you guys. I'm out.
Guys, I appreciate it. So thank you for our very successful first episode.
Yep.
And I know I wrote down somewhere for next week's episode, our guest. I have no idea where I put it, so I'm going to have to reach out to my captains again and say, all right, who's on deck for next week's trip?
Organized.
I know, dude. And I am on my computer. I'm very organized, but for some reason, I don't know why I didn't capture it. But then I know The first show in February, I believe, is we've got Michael Busby. He's one of our teammates. He's gonna have his him and his cousin's a vet, and that's who we took out. And
Awesome.
they'll have a great story to share. Share this out. Let folks know, about this, because you know what? There may be a vet that knows nothing about us and really needs to hear stories like what Jerry shared and how it's affected him. Vinny, thank you, brother. Vinny Taylor, me and him, he used to work for me when I had my vape shop, but great friend. He's in the Marine Corps. I appreciate Vinny for your comment. But hopefully this gets shared out enough through Facebook and through YouTube that a vet sees this and he hears it from another vet, not just myself, Charlie, or Anthony, but someone who went out to experience that mission and makes that call. Maybe he needs, or she needs, that real therapy, and hopefully we'll provide it.
Yep.
And really fast, another passion of mine is I like making videos. I like capturing memories and videos of if anyone out there needs a little video, photos or little videos that you have some put together, let me know. I will be more than happy to do that for you and your family, so you can have a record.
And I will be taking them up on that. And I
Yes,
just found out
please.
my son
Please
does
do.
that. I didn't know it, and I'll be taking him up on that.
I'm
So-
not super great at it, but I've been getting better throughout the months and years and
You've been
stuff. I
doing
did two
great,
little
buddy.
trailers for the show today, so please just reach out to me. No, I don't charge a damn thing either. So yeah, if y'all need anything just to put together for your family or something like that, or your social media stuff, whatever it is, you just let me know.
Charlie, I appreciate you being my co-host in this.
Well,
And
thank you, brother.
the vision that you shared with me, and they perfectly aligned on what the whole purpose of this show is. And it's about, let me see here, about these two guys, over down on the bottom over there, about their journey to real therapy. I thought Chris was talking about MySpace. Oh, he did say MySpace. Okay.
Oh Lord.
He's going to share on MySpace. Okay.
On MySpace.
Guys.
It's not even MySpace. It's me and Spacio.
You guys have a blessed day. I look forward to this next week. And a matter of fact, I'll be probably running this show from my lake house because I will be getting ready for the Ice Bowl. So, guys, you have a blessed day. Everybody who tuned in, both from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you tuned in for, thank you. Subscribe. And if you're a vet and you haven't taken a mission and you want to, get a hold of us, and we'll be glad to try to get you on the water. Thank you, guys, and God bless.
See ya.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.